this point, but right now we're joined by our correspondent Lobna Yehia. Lobna, good evening. Tell us about your location and any updates you have.
I am in the Qalubiyya governorate, and the polling stations have entirely closed. You know, they close at 9 p.m. and they're closed here and they're closed all around the Republic. You see the wrap-up of the past 2 days. I'm going to give you a quick wrap-up to you and our viewers. Throughout the past 2 days, I was a correspondent in the Shubra al-Khayma district. It's district number 3 in the Qalubiyya governorate. There are about 6 different electoral districts, and that was in the 3rd one. There are 71 candidates competing across the governorate. 321 polling stations with 500 sub-polling stations, 3.6 eligible voters all over the governorate. So these are the statistics of the governorate. And then regarding the logistics, Mohammed, everything was super secure throughout the past 2 days up until the election process. There were security patrols around the polling station where I was in, traffic patrols, making sure that everything was secure, no obstacles whatsoever. So voters have to go through any trouble getting to their polling station. Also, there was this booth, all right? This booth was an instructive kind of booth to people that don't know much or are quite confused about how to find their committee. This was provided for and it was titled Know Your Committee in Arabic, Araf Lagnitak. People were gathered there right before walking to the committee. They would find out which place and then they move forward. So they were given instruction on how to cast their ballot, and never who to vote for, only how to vote. And the turnout accordingly was exceptional. It would be higher after the morning or noon hours. It's a little hot in the morning, but then in the afternoon it gets a little chillier, so people would actually show up a little later after the break. And actually today it was significantly much more crowded right before the closing of the polling stations. There was a significant number of women participating in casting their ballots. Lots of elderly, which is quite odd. Despite their age, they are very keen on showing up and casting their votes. Also, I noticed some people with disabilities. However, the facilities needed for them were there, well provided by different services. The police personnel would help them if they need anything. The health sector provided the wheelchairs, the braille card for people with visual impairments. So you can say that any kind of health. Also, there were ambulances stationed nearby the polling station just in case, you know. There were also an electricity generator also stationed next to the polling station. So if any kind of electric emergency happens, it would be there to make sure that this kind of problem gets solved right away. So those were the logistics around the polling station in the Shubra al-Khayma district. The turnout, as I told you, gets higher throughout the evening, much more than in the morning. That's pretty much it. What else would you like to know, Mohammed?
Well, Lobna, of course, throughout these 2 days of the voting in the second phase of the elections and before in the first phase of the elections, what are the things people need or expect from the coming House of Representatives?
Yes, Mohammed. I believe that people showing up this much around this House of Elections, House of Representatives elections, it only means one thing. It only means that people want their voices heard. And that is exactly what we saw in the crowds, in the lineups, in the booths of trying to just even know where the committee is. Some people don't even know where to start. But then they would actually go through the trouble, find out, to make sure that their voices are heard. So people, like Egyptian citizens now, are much aware of what they need to do regarding the political scene. They realize that they are part of this entire, and they want to make sure that their voices and what heard is achieved, and that is by making sure their voices are casted in this election. So maybe this is what we're going to be expecting in the next phase of the political structure in Egypt, having a Senate, a new Senate, and a new House of Representatives. We're expecting probably a very much greater and a much more solid political structure in Egypt.
Lobna Yehia, our correspondent from Qalibiya, thank you very much for being with us.